Okay, Jimmy, it looks like we have 10 o'clock. We're ready to begin. So I will call this meeting of Seneca County Commissioners for Thursday, February 11th to order. Let us begin by joining me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. We have with us this morning the EMS Medical Director for Seneca County, Dr. Fitzpatrick, and he has requested some time. So in respect for his time, we're going to let him speak first. If you will, Doctor.
All right. Thank you very much. I'll try to be brief here. I have been hearing that some people are wanting to use the firefighters, first responders as the second person on the ambulance. I really don't think this is a very good idea. Most of the protocols, ACS protocols, call for two people to be involved. Firefighters may be great at firefighting and they're wonderful people. They sacrifice a lot, but they don't know medicine and they would be of minimal help to the EMT paramedic that would be on the run. So I really stand against doing that. Now, if we want to have two paramedics and have a firefighter, first responder drive them, I don't have a problem with that, but we need two people who are able and knowledgeable in medicine to really take care of the people of Seneca County. It's analogous to me asking an electrician to do my plumbing. It just would not work out. And asking a firefighter to do medical procedures, it just won't work out. You know, and I feel the best arrangement, if we can afford it, is to have two paramedics and an EMT as a driver. This is pretty much, well, I take it back. I guess in Tiffin, it's pretty much all paramedics. But that would be the best arrangement. But a firefighter, first responder as a driver would be fine. As far as the two paramedics, where they're stationed, I know there's different suggestions out there. I leave that to Ken. He has researched it extensively, and I think he could give us the best input as to where we would station these individuals. I do think having, if we're talking about hiring 4 paramedics, it would be best to station them as a 2-man crew in 2 different locations. That way they can get used to working as a team. It's always better to know what your partner is going to do next instead of having them switch from place to place. So I'm very much in favor of the 2-man crew idea. And it's my understanding by placing one unit in the east and one in the west, we would be able to cover Seneca County pretty completely with higher level of care than what we are doing currently. And you know, going back to the firefighter, first responder, that's going back to the 1960s when we had volunteers that would get the funeral home ambulance and, you know, scoop people up and run to an ER. Definitely do not want to go back to that. This is, you know, the bulk, you know, I think we're at the point where we need to take the step forward. And I'm asking all of you to consider Ken's plan, and if not in full, at least let's not go with the firefighter, first responder. I hate to see us go backwards. I'd be happy to answer any questions anybody has.
Okay. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Yep. Doc, this is Commissioner Paradiso. When you reference paramedics, would that also include EMTs? I mean, could we have one of each, for example?
Yes, yeah, we could.
Okay.
You know, there's basically 3 different levels. You have EMT basic, EMT, what was called intermediate, or I guess I still call intermediate. And then the paramedic is the highest trained one. The paramedics can do pretty much everything that I can do in a code situation. So they're the most trained. And having 2 of them working together would be ideal. But at least an EMT, you know, they would have some medical knowledge and would be more useful to the paramedic. So yeah, that would be acceptable.
Okay, and I don't know the exact statistic, but when there are 2, in this case, professionals on a call versus 1, can you just describe maybe a recovery situation, or how much better it is to have 2 paramedic EMTs on a call versus maybe 1?
Okay. Basically, as far as doing the different procedures, they can, of course, do the IVs as the intermediate can. But while one is intubating a person, as an example, putting in the airway, the other one could be getting out medications and pushing those medications, which would get them into the circulation faster and increase the probability of a return of spontaneous respirations and pulse. It's definitely doable with you know, the lower level EMT, but they just the person who puts the time in to be a paramedic, they are really devoted and they really have a good base of knowledge. Whereas an EMT basic, and I'm not putting them down, they're wonderful people and we couldn't get by without them, but they just don't have the knowledge base to see things that may be going wrong. And like I say, like all the ACLS protocols, they call for 2 people to do the resuscitation. It's just more efficient. You can have people doing 2 things at once instead of one person guiding somebody else into what to do. I hope that answered.
Yes, thank you very much.
No problem.
Well, Dr. Fitzpatrick, we certainly appreciate your work with the county as a medical director for EMS, and God bless you for your work.
Thank you.
Hopefully we're going to come up with a good solution here. It's been a long process, and we take your advice very seriously as a professional, and we will heed that advice.
All right. Well, thank you, and I appreciate your hard work.
Thanks. Okay. So I guess that we skipped over. I want to get Dr. Fitzpatrick on, respect for his time. So Tony, if you'll lead us in a prayer here.
Lord, as we assemble together in your name, we ask that you help us at this time to be fruitful. Let your wisdom penetrate each of our hearts and our minds, that we may walk away with greater insight and understanding of all the things that we talk about today. Also want to thank you for your hand on our frontline workers, the health department, really everyone involved in distributing the vaccine. We're gaining some momentum. We're starting to see light at the end of the tunnel. And we just ask that, you know, those affected continue to be patient and work with those that are here to help. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Nikki, roll call, please.
Commissioner Kochner?
Here.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Here.
Commissioner Schuff?
Here.
Okay, well, I need to accept a motion to approve the digital audio video recording of our last meeting, February 4th.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Schuff.
Second.
Thank you. Nikki?
Commissioner Schuff?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes.
Commissioner Kushner?
Yes. We have with us today folks representing the Tiffin Seneca United Way. I think that's the proper term. I see Carrie is here. Would you like to introduce yourself and any guests you have?
Hi, Mike. Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning.
And thank you, Stacy, for having me this morning. No guests with me, but they've provided me with a lot of necessary updates that I think you'll find very informative. Good.
So you're on.
Okay. So again, my name is Carrie Steele. I'm the executive director here at the Tiffin Seneca United Way. I am here to give an update about what was done with the COVID CARES money that we received from the commissioners, and also break that down so you have a better understanding of how our community was served. First, a little bit about the Tiffin Seneca United Way and what we stand for and what we do. We're committed to advance education, health, and safety net services through Seneca County. The goal is to ensure that every family succeeds in school and achieves financial stability. To accomplish these goals, the United Way unites our community to give, advocate, and volunteer. The approach that the United Way uses is problem solving in our community. We connect community resources to those in need. It's pretty simple. And I've heard it on so many different boards, even just this week, about how well Seneca County works together. And it goes without saying. I mean, without the collaboration of all of our agencies, schools, and partners, we can't have such a successful county that we do. So really grateful for the partnerships that we all have and the relationships that we have in Seneca County. So going into the First Call for Help program, so I'll tell you a little bit about that program and how the money was received and then again dispersed. So the First Call for Help program is under the Tiffin Seneca United Way umbrella. And the primary goal is information referral. However, we do have funds in place to assist families and individuals who are in need from time to time. The requirements are in place to give people a hand up, not a hand out. So there are protocols in place to assist them, but then also to ensure that they follow through on their end as well. Funding assistance for First Call for Help includes, but it's not limited to, the utilities, rent, medical bills, and equipment, emergency housing and rental assistance, transportation assistance, and then there's also some programs that First Call for Help does. I'm sure you've seen them or seen advertising for them, but the school supplies program that they do in the spring and summer helps kids get started in the fall with everything they need to get back to school. The Stuff the Bus that we do out at Walmart every year, again, collect school supplies for that program. The Bunny Luncheon, which was kind of put on the back burner with COVID, and then Christmas Corner. Christmas Corner provides teens with gift cards because so often you see Toys for Tots and all these kinds of different programs where they're supplying Christmas for young children, but then the young adults and teens get missed, and they're still kids and they're still under the roof at Christmas time and watching their siblings unwrap presents. And so this problem, I guess, the need was met, and now those children and young adults have a Christmas too. First Call for Help partners with a lot of local agencies too, like Fish Salvation Army, GLCAP, National Machinery Foundation, St. Vincent de Paul, Job and Family Services, the PRC program, and there's many others. But just to give you an idea about like who we work with and who we're putting the callers in collaboration with when they call. And getting to the nuts and bolts here of this COVID relief funds money and how it was spent. So this may be slightly boring. I'll try to vary my voice to keep you with me, but reading word for word about how this process was broken down. So the Tiffin Seneca United Way, along with First Call for Help, received the $275,000 in CARES Act. Of the $250,000 that was distributed, 92 households were directly affected. That's here in Seneca County. Eligible households received financial assistance with several items, which included rent, mortgage, utilities such as electric, gas, water, sewer, and internet. So the internet, we were very careful about making sure that the individuals who were getting the internet assistance were provided with that given their need. Also, we provided assistance with property tax to those who own their home, and a $250 Kroger card to assist with gas and food purchases. Despite there being an overwhelming need for utility assistance, rent with mortgage was the top most needed financial resource. And that was due to many people losing their jobs or losing hours, or even their hours being cut due to the curfew that was in place. The average household received assistance of $1,877.13. And the total households received $95,148.60 in rental assistance. 20 homeowners received $32,755.04 in mortgage assistance, and 52 received $11,065.78 in water and sewer. And while a combined total of 103 received electric and gas and propane in the amount of $30,351.99. So the grand total of $2,270.13 was used to assist a total of 5 homeowners with a combined cost of homeowners insurance and property taxes. 17 families with school-age children who were attending remote learning received $1,109.04 in internet assistance. So you can see where we didn't necessarily need a huge amount of that, but it still captured a lot of families who would have fallen through. And that's really our goal, is to catch those families who, it's a small need, but it's huge, a huge impact on the families. As a bonus, 92 families were eligible to receive the Kroger gift cards. So we required the people who applied for gift cards to already be under that funding. Therefore, we didn't get an increase of calls. It just says, hey, I hear you have all these gift cards. It was more structured for the people who were already receiving COVID assistance. So the average household received 3 months of rent and mortgage assistance, and that allowed the families to get through their financial hardships, waiting for unemployment and things like that to begin. We still get a couple calls, but I mean, it seems like it really made a huge difference compared to where we were in the fall. Many of the recipients who did apply, like I said, they fell behind because of lost wages due to COVID. And so we did require them to provide us with some proof that that's what they were dealing with, financial hardships. So just a quick recap and breaking down what I just said in just more straight across the board terms. We assisted 92 adults and 62 children children with a total of 154 served. And then broken down in the area of Seneca County, a broken down version of that is 3 people from Attica, one family from Bloomville, 3 from Fostoria, 2 from Green Springs, 1 from Newrigal, 3 from Republic, and 74 from Tiffin and Rural. And again, those addresses needed to fall within Seneca County, just to be clear. 87 households served. And not to bore you, but just to go into further breakdown of numbers, this will be the last update. Electric, 53 bills were paid, $22,080.92. That's huge. I mean, 53 households at 22 grand, that's a pretty big number there. Gas and propane, $8,271.07. Insurance, $913.35. Internet, $1,109.04, as mentioned before. Mortgage and rent, I already went over those. Sewer, $6,491.42. Taxes and property. And if anybody's taking notes, I can send this to you because I've been there and I've taken notes and it's like, slow down, lady. But I do have this all on a spreadsheet. I'd be more than happy to send for your records as well. Property taxes, $1,356.78. Water, $4,574.36. And water, we served 28 households. So total households and bills, 243 bills. That's huge. And I think I had mentioned before that our first bill, and I don't have the facts in front of me, but I think our first bill was paid somewhere in mid-November when we actually started to cut checks and got everything in place. And then those numbers were through the end of December. So in just over 6 weeks, we were able to distribute that much. And like I'd said before, it's a really eye-opening thing to see the need right here in Seneca County. It's friends, it's neighbors, it's people who work 40 hours a week and take care of their families that needed this money. So again, thank you so much to you guys, the commissioners, for seeing that need. Stacy, for answering all of my questions. My goodness, I know we went back and forth. think we needed each other on speed dial, same with Tony and Mike. Thank you guys all so much for everything and just getting us through this.
Well, thank you for being the conduit to do this and help us disperse that money. We appreciate your effort. How did, from a nuts and bolts standpoint, the administrative fees that were involved, were they, I don't need to talk about how much, but were they sufficient for your office to get things done?
So the 25,000 was not broken down in this specific, but if you want that, I can definitely get that from Lisa.
No, I just want a general idea. Was it enough to cover your costs for administering it? Okay.
I think so. We did bring on one additional person, and that was pre-COVID, or that was pre-commissioner money distributed. So we already knew there was going to be a need for more help and more hands. The board of Tiffin Seneca United Way directors also brought Pat Damani back on as a part-time paid employee / mentor to help us get through this. And Lisa Young, our CPA, had a huge help in helping us keep all of this money organized and efficiently in and out of the building as to be expected, or as would be as necessary. This large of amount of money and those amount of checks going out. Of course, human error needs to be taken into consideration, but somebody like Lisa, having her here to help. I don't know if many of you know, but I just took over for Pat this past spring, right when COVID hit. So this is a new position for me. We've got all new staff here, new student workers, new volunteers. So it was nice to have Pat and Lisa and Damon all in Rahat in our corner, just kind of supporting us and being a cheerleader along the way and helping us navigate some of these things that are completely new to all of us. You know, we're just taking it with strides as we can.
Yeah, very good, Carrie. It's a great report. Very well detailed. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I hope I didn't bore everybody.
No, I don't think so.
I have a comment, Commissioner.
Yes.
This is, when I hear you, Carrie, it hats off to you and a big thank you from me to your staff. But I'm looking at, TSEP, United Way, GLCAP, Job and Family Services. They all have similar numbers and they all did very much what you did. So hats off to Commissioner Kirshner for thinking about diversifying the distribution. And a lot of that was simply for administrative reasons, because every one of you, it took all hands on deck to get it done. But I think we touched different pockets of people throughout the county, and different agencies maybe affect different. I know we all work together, but I find that really interesting, because when you look at the GLCAP report, which I have here, I was following your numbers and they're very similar, with rent payments, mortgage payments, sewer bills, food. And so it's really enlightening to feel that we really did do the best we could to touch everyone in the county. And you guys were a big part of that. So it's awesome. Thank you.
And we're so grateful to have been a recipient of that money, because it was a breath of fresh air in a way, because it did put everybody's all hands on deck. And so it made us all learn to work together really quickly. But it was amazing to see how many people were affected by that money and how grateful they were. I mean, of all of the people we served, 200 and some households, I think we may have had one or two disgruntled people that were, just slightly disappointed. But my goodness, I mean, the turnaround time on everything and just how quickly. And then on top of that, our office was dealing with COVID. I don't know if any of you guys knew that, but we were working with the health department to get everybody cleared and back in here. I got sick second week in December, thinking it was just sinuses and that kind of thing. And then it wasn't until maybe about the 18th of December that I got sick and ended up missing several days of work. And then it started to go around the office. We did all of the things that we could do. We locked the front door. We wore masks. We had gloves when handling people's bills. They would come in, we'd make copies and then give their copies back to them. So we were very careful about using a glove to touch personal things, wiping down the printers, and it still hit our office. So on top of new staff, on top of me being new executive director, on top of being dropped the $200 some $1,000 in our lap, then we had dealing with COVID, and then COVID in general, all of the protocols that are in place. So wow, what a whirlwind for my first year. I can't imagine it'd be anything but up from here on out.
You're going to be well battle tested.
Right?
Yeah. All right. Okay, any other questions? Jimmy, we can open it up early here if anybody has any specific questions for Carrie.
Sure, yeah, and if you're calling by the phone line, you can hit *6 to unmute. If not, just unmute yourself and go forward with your questions now.
Okay, anybody out there have any questions or comments? Okay, Carrie, again, thank you for a very comprehensive report. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you all for having me.
Okay. All right, next on the agenda is our esteemed county administrator and her report.
We have a lot of on the agenda today, so I have no report today.
Okay, commissioners' reports. Mr. Schaaf, Commissioner Schaaf.
Yeah, thank you, President Kirschner. Been busy here at the commissioner's office here. As you guys have been a part of, we've been having the ongoing EMS discussions here. This last week, I think it was a productive meeting. We got kind of into the meat and potatoes of things, looking at some numbers. So I think people are digesting that. I think it's a positive thing. People are still coming to the table, and we're still trying to find ways to work together, which is good. Still can't get rid of the snow here in Seneca County, whether we're under a level 1 or 2. It just doesn't seem to stop. So maybe Tony can include that in his prayer next week or something. That'd be nice. TCEP, I don't know who else tuned in, but they put out a TCEP jobs and investment survey. It's for business owners. If you guys want to help them do their job better, if any business owners are on, if we could spread the word, go on there and fill out that survey. It helps them know what to do and which direction to go here for the public. So I just wanted to give a shout out to TCEP. Want to give a congratulations to Kayla Elmore. She's a Hopewell Loudon basketball player, and she just got signed to go to Clemson. I thought that was a really neat story that came out. You don't have to be from a big city to go to a big college or be recognized, but it's neat to see somebody here locally in Seneca County that plays out at Hopewell or from Bascom area that's going to be playing on the national stage. I just want to give a shout out to Kayla. Also, I'm not sure if you guys seen or not, but Foss Story's putting in some electric charging stations. So they're getting on board with that. Along with that, with the whole COVID thing and everything that's going on right now, it's kind of amazed me. I know there's been a lot of people struggling, but on a positive note, there's some things coming down the pipeline. I've seen where JT's Bagels, they had just expanded. Urban Woody Brewery over in Fostoria, they're expanding, but I know of some different businesses that are opening right now, and it's just kind of exciting despite everything that's going on. Momentum still seems to keep moving forward, and I think Seneca County is weathering the storm really well, and it's not stopping our entrepreneurs and that entrepreneurial spirit, which I'm happy to see. That's about all I got for right now. Shop local.
Thanks, Tyler. Commissioner Paradiso, you're on mute.
No report for today.
All right. Well, I would like to talk about Senator Reineke for a moment. He has a bill in place that you've probably seen in the paper. I think there was an article this morning. It's been in various papers and in various publications. Senate Bill 52, I believe. Senate Bill 52 is an extension or continuance of a bill that he presented in the House when he was a House member, talking about citizens' ability to vote on whether or not they want alternative energy projects within their neighborhoods, within their townships. And along with that, we've had multiple discussions about alternative energy zones and about pilots payments in lieu of taxes. We've had multiple discussions about RUMA, the road use maintenance agreements. So I kind of wanted to bring us current as to exactly where this commission is as it relates to alternative energy zones and as it relates to our support, hopefully, for Senate Bill 52. So Jimmy, do you have a letter, I think that or a draft of a letter that we'd like to take a look at?
Yep, can you see it right there on the screen?
We can. I would ask my other two commissioners, I think that you've had an opportunity to see this in advance. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any, do you agree with the content Are there any changes that you'd like to make? Any difference? Any wordsmithing? Anything you'd like to do about this? I thought it would be appropriate to send it to the President of the Senate and to the Speaker of the House in support of Senator Reineke's proposal.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I think it was well written, and I'm on board with it too. I would say move forward.
Okay, so that is a portion of it. I think it will make this maybe a motion as time goes on. But Stacy, also, do you have the latest resolution as it relates to alternative energy zones in the county?
The two we had passed, I think we did one in, let's see where those are at. We had done one in March of 19, and then one in September. Are those the one you are looking at?
Okay.
I need the screen, Jimmy. There we go. I think those are the ones you were asking me about.
Yes. So in summary, or some type of summary, we as a Board of Commissioners, by virtue of the 3 signatures here, at the time, Commissioner Paradiso, myself, and Commissioner Thomas, have rescinded the alternative energy zone. And I think that rescission is a little difficult for me to read, is as of August 9th. Is that?
Yeah, I think the sunset, let me pull up the other one. I think you guys sunsetted the
June 30.
June 30, 2019.
Oops.
Okay. Yeah, very good. But I think that the contention here is that, or one of the contentions with this, any other applications that are being filed are no longer subject to an AEZ for the county. The one project that was approved was the Apex Republic Wind project, and that continues to be handled under the current AEZ, etc. The only covenant to that is that when we passed our resolution, we said that if they had to go back to the Ohio Power Siting Board to make any significant amendments or to reapply, that this sunset would also apply to that project. We are researching to determine, since there have been significant changes to the Republic Wind project, that this rescission of the AEZ would affect that project as well. We have talked to council about that. I think there is a discrepancy between what we think and what the alternative energy company thinks. So we'll have to have that discussion with them. It is my belief that because the changes have been significant enough with the Ohio Power Siting Board, that this sunset and rescission applies to any project that's out there in the county or the townships at this point. So going back to, I'll open that up for discussion if anybody would like to talk about that. Okay.
I think it's good.
All right. Going back to the letter to the President of the Senate and the Speaker, I would accept the motion to send that letter to them in support of Senate Bill 52, sponsored by William F. Reinicke, Senator William F. Reinicke Jr.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay. Any additional discussion? Hearing none. Nikki?
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso,
Yes.
Commissioner Kirschner.
Yes. Okay. On to old business. Indigent Council. Stacy?
Yes, so we received a letter from the Ohio Public Defender's Office. The Supreme Court of Ohio had determined that it was unconstitutional, under-inclusive as applied to the indigent parent facing the loss of a parental right in probate court. They have now said that we need to provide indigent counsel, which indigent counsel for them, which will be reimbursed from the state. And I think, as you guys mentioned last week, it could be up to 94%. Jimmy, if I'm wrong, correct me.
It's a little more than that.
Okay.
But yeah, roughly.
So, so I got a call from Teresa, a cop at the juvenile probate court, and she asked that we get a resolution together, setting their fees and getting money in place to start this effective January 29th. So we do have a resolution prepared, establishing the indigent defense reimbursement rate for Seneca County Probate Court retroactive to January 29th, 2021. And the fee set for that will be $60 per hour. And I think that is in and out of court, and a cap of $1,000, which the judge has the authority to waive for unextenuating circumstances. So that's what they have asked me to present.
Okay. Is that the only old business you have?
Yes.
Okay, so I would accept the motion to approve the establishment of the Indigent Defense Reimbursement Fund.
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes, I'll second that with some discussion.
Okay. Teresa, would you like to add anything to the discussion here?
Really, I just, communicated with Stacy that it was a court case from the Supreme Court of Ohio. It's in reference of YEP, that's the minor child. And they came up with a decision that it was really an unfair burden on a parent in probate court when they were going to get their parental rights taken away from them, not to have counsel appointed. We don't have that many in probate court. These are minor adoptions, usually in a step-parent situation. So I told Stacy we probably have on average like maybe 12 a year. So, and not all those parties are indigent. So, but just in case, and then we did contact the Ohio Office of Public Defender, and they got on it for the counties then to make sure that they were going to reimburse. And that was the important part too, is to have reimbursement in these actions.
Okay, thank you, Teresa, for your work there. Commissioner Paradiso, you have some thoughts?
Just that a year ago, we had extensive discussion with regards to indigent defense funding overall. And I want to commend Jimmy, did a lot of work on this, and
yes,
the judges reviewed everything. I made the rounds, talked to Judge Meyer, Judge Schuff, Judge Kelbley. And so I feel real good about where we're at. I think more importantly, I think they appreciated us, having a discussion with them. And so I think the broader picture is, we vetted that out as soon as a year ago, as recent as a year ago. And then this just will be added to it. So I just want to make that comment.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, without any additional discussion, Nikki, roll call, please.
Commissioner Schuff?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Yes. Okay, we're at new business. We're at new business, Stace.
County home farm land. Nikki, I will let you explain it. I think I know most of it, but there was some concerns, or the farmland is coming up due to be bid.
Yeah, I need to get a resolution setting time date in place, but before I do so, I need to know from the commissioners how we want to move forward. Are we still only doing a 1-year contract? I know you guys had talked about some future building development out there, which would take away from some of the acreage on the lease. So I need to know if you guys want me to remove that acreage from it, still have him farm all of it, and how long should the contract be for?
Well, I don't think that anything we're going to do would take place within the next 12 months. I mean, actually have be implemented. So I think for this year, we can go ahead and put it on for a year, knowing that possibly we'll use part of that land for some future building. But for right now, unless you other two gentlemen have an objection, I think we can send it out for a year.
I do have a question. Nikki, how many acres, refresh our memory, how many acres are involved in this specific piece of property?
That's the bigger one. It's the 147.1 plus or minus.
Okay, so my thought would be, Commissioner, that I think it would be better for the farmer and potentially better for us if we look at a 3-year lease. I know farmers take in consideration input cost, and it takes a couple years sometimes to for all that to work out. And you know, we've had the discussion with Engineer Zimmerman as far as moving the fence back, right, Stacy, and getting him the land he would need. And
yes, he's got that up already.
He set that up. So, you know, I don't know if we can do this, but my thought would be, I see Beth on the call here. If we take Opportunity Park and then maybe we drew a dotted line over towards you, Beth, and we shaded that area, if that represented 2 acres or 3 acres, you know, we could enter into a 3-year lease on 147.1 acres, but have the right to remove up to, you know, 3 or 4 acres at the county discretion as we need it, but not disrupt the crop. So if we needed it while crops were planted, I think we'd have to compensate there. But I think that might work better, Commissioner Kirschner, for the farmer, and yet not really inconvenience us. But I'm
okay. Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay with it. The only covenant that I would put on that is that when we get closer to some plans, you know, we get Gossman back out there to decide what makes the most sense from, you know, where the buildings ought to be placed, and to make it look. We've been pretty much helter-skelter when we put buildings up with no specific long-term plan in mind. So I think we need to keep in mind that we should have a longer-term plan for that area. And as long as we do that, and as long as Derek thinks that he can carve out a piece in the future, if we intend to build on it, then I'm okay with you know, with a 3-year lease.
Stacy, is that you think we could work something like that out?
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as the farmer knows in advance, I think they're fine.
Yeah, we just don't want to box ourselves in, and we're only talking a few acres.
Okay.
So, okay.
That'll work. So, so that you're going to put that resolution together then, Nikki, for us?
Yeah, it'll probably be on next week. I need to go through dates and times and all that good stuff. Okay.
All right. That's good then. So, you know, I would work with Commissioner Paradiso and Commissioner Schuff and make sure they're feel comfortable with the language, and of course, Derek's approval. Okay. Seneca County Apiary.
Beth, do you want to take that?
There's no new update. We've been doing it. This will be our 3rd year. And so it's just a matter of order of business to keep working together. The beekeepers are sure happy around the county. So I think it's just business.
Okay.
Great.
So that's the buzz, right? Perfect.
Yeah, we just got an application, so we had to get that set in. So as long as you're okay with that, we'll go. We don't need a motion.
Okay. Yeah, it's fine. I kind of missed the annual visit from the beekeepers to give us an update. So maybe they can come in and let us know what's happening out there.
Sure. So Mr. Dundor is the one who used to show up and do that. He showed up out here to help us with the bee problem in the ag building. So we still got to see him and got the update. I'm sorry he didn't get to a commissioner's meeting. So he's still alive and well in the county.
Well, that's good. Send our hellos to him. Yes. Okay. Then we go on to supplemental appropriations, Stacy.
Sure. Let me bring up that screen. Okay, I have a couple on for today. I have a supplemental appropriation at the request of the coroner's office. There was a slight increase to their coroner dues that we were not aware of before putting the budgets together. So it was an additional $41 that we need to put into other expense to get his coroner's dues paid. I have a supplemental appropriation into our transfers outline. This is for $98,460. This is from ditch maintenance. They have already given us the check for this money, and we transfer this back out to soil and water. They use this for match funding. They did get us the money. And then I have a supplemental appropriation for indigent council. This goes back to the resolution that we just passed, planning for the remainder of the year. They would like an additional $20,000 put into that new line, which again will be reimbursed. So those all I had. I did pull a couple supplemental appropriations off the agenda just due to the lack of information that was put into the system. So I'll get some clarification on those. Okay, and then I have a resolution, it's over there. A resolution to do a transfer be made to the Soil and Water Fund. Again, it's for that $68,430 from our general fund transfers out to their transfers in. I also have a resolution transfer be made to the Soil and Water Fund. This is from our general fund. Soil and water transfers out. This is what we have appropriated to give to soil and water every year. They've kept it $160,000 for, I think, at least 4 years. They do an amazing job out there. I have a resolution establishing the FFY 2021 Impaired Driving Enforcement Program Fund 1059 on behalf of the Seneca County Sheriff. He's got a couple of these, establishing the FFY 2021 STEP, which is Selective Traffic Enforcement Program Fund 1076 on behalf of the Sheriff's Office, and establishing the FFY 2021 Drugged Driving Enforcement Program 1143 on behalf of the Seneca County Sheriff. I have a resolution setting time, date, and place to receive sealed bids for County Road 56-0.35 and County Road 38-10.98 superstructure replacement. And I gotta find the date. Minimize that one. This is for February 25th, 2021 at the Commissioner's Office, and it will be 10:15 a.m.
Okay.
And I have a resolution authorizing the FY 2021 Airport Improvement Program pre-application for airfield drainage improvements and taxiway C pavement rehab, phase 2 of 2 at the Seneca County Airport, authorizing Michael J. Kirshner, President of the Board, to sign the pre-application and all other related documentations on behalf of the board. I have a resolution authorizing the FY 2022 through 2031 Airport Capital Improvement Plan, authorizing Michael J. Kirshner, President of the Board, to sign the plan and all other related documentation on behalf of the board. And then I have a accepting the petition and granting the annexation for the city of Tiffin for parcel of land being 214.031 acres plus or minus in section 31 and 32 Clinton Township, Seneca County, Ohio. I don't know if you have any more information on that, Nikki, or maybe Brent on the line.
He was going to try and be on.
I see him on there.
Okay, Brent, you're on. If you want to further explain the annexation, please.
Yes, thank you, President Kirshner. As agent for the Sisters of St. Francis, I filed a petition for annexation of 214 plus acres of land that they own. And this is property north of 224. The petition is pursuant to state law that allows for an expedited process for annexation when the political subdivisions involved have entered into a cooperative development agreement, which in this case they have, the county, Clinton Township, the city of Tiffin. And as required, I provided a copy, a certified copy of those agreements along with the petition. The petition contains a map of the area to be annexed and a legal description of the area to be annexed as required. And all of the property owners, which in this case is just one, the Sisters of St. Francis, they have agreed and they want to be annexed to the city of Tiffin. So we have presented all the required information along with the petition. And by statute now, you will need to consider and approve this without hearing is what the statute says. So we ask, I ask as the agent for the Sisters of St. Francis that you now approve the petition that was presented. If there are any questions from the commissioners, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
I had a question for you, Brent. Just out of curiosity, what was the reason for annexation? Did they have a reason?
Yeah, when I talked to one of the sisters, the president this week, she said they wanted to make sure they had the services of the city of Tiffin for this area that is being annexed.
Thank you.
Commissioner Kirschner, we've been through this a few times, and I understand the process, and obviously, Brent, respect your legal, your position representing the sisters. Do we run this by Derek, Commissioner Kirschner? Are we able to act on this right now?
I think we can go ahead and act on this now. I mean, I guess that, as an abundance of caution, we could do that. But I'm satisfied that every box has been checked that needs to be checked here. I'm okay with it at this point.
Also, if I may add for the commissioner's information,
yes.
The map and legal description has been provided to the tax map office of the county engineer's office well in advance of this meeting and the filing of the petition. Also, the county auditor has received the map and legal description, and if they had any questions, they asked them to me. So they're very aware of what's going on and have approved what I have submitted.
Does this need to be a separate motion, Commissioner Kirschner, or can we include it?
Well, it doesn't need to be, but I think it probably should be because
That's
it's
what I'm
significant.
thinking. Yeah.
It's significant enough.
So I will make a motion then, if that's okay, that we accept the petition as outlined by Brent Howard for annexation.
All right.
I'll second.
I appreciate that. Any other discussion? Hearing nothing. Nikki?
Commissioner Schuss?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Yes.
Nice job, Brent.
Yeah. Thank you, Brent.
Thank you.
Okay, Stacy, continuing on.
That's all I have.
Okay, so then I would need a motion for the other appropriations and new business.
So moved.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Tyler. Any additional discussion about any of the items? Any individual items you want carved out? Any questions? Hearing none. Nikki, go ahead.
I just want to thank Stacy for explaining all the stuff and when she goes down the list. So thank you.
Good job.
Okay. Nikki?
Commissioner Schuss?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Yes. Okay, I think the time of the meeting has come to open it up to public comment.
Sure, and Commissioner Kirschner, I actually wanted to start with online, if you guys are willing to talk about it. We have a Charles Hall who asked, what is the status of the Seneca County Museum? So I don't know if maybe Commissioner Paradiso could speak to that.
Sure.
Sure. Stacy, I'm going to yield to Stacy for an update because I can. Go ahead.
Stacy, this stuff rolls downhill. Who are you going to refer to?
That's what, I was going to say that, Commissioner, but so go ahead.
I'm hiding.
Yeah.
Go ahead, but I think things are progressing very well, and I'll let Stacy give the update.
Yeah, I speak with Teresa almost every other day. I actually met with Fran yesterday, trying to get some of the funding moved around. If you remember, the trust had given us a grant to put in some glass cabinets in the glass room, and it kind of gotten put on hold due to COVID. The foundation has reached out to the trust, and they're allowing them to repurpose that. They have some a flag that they want to get serviced, I guess, and repaired. The trust has authorized that, and then the rest of the money that wasn't being used, they're going to authorize the foundation to use for their expenses. We do have a meeting set up with the foundation, Barnes Stearns Foundation, on the 24th, I think it is. But they've been there working hard. They've been working on inventory and cleaning out some items, the normal office items. And they're working hard. It's going well. Just an update, I know there was a concern with a flagpole that was removed. It was leaning and the flag was a little tattered. So the foundation actually had somebody out there doing some looking at the ironwork around the building, and they recommended taking it down so they could, one, avoid any liability since it was kind of leaning. And they will replace it. They will replace the flag. Their intention is to put it back on the building as original with some cast iron. So there's been a lot going on at the museum. I don't know if there's any specific questions that anybody has, but they're working very hard, and new email set up. If you have any questions for them, or just send them an email, it's museum@senecacounty.ohio.gov.
Stacy, do we have a handle on the inventory and what percentage we think is completed here?
I don't have that. I know they are actually going over everything that's already been inventoried just to make sure it's detailed. They were putting in a little bit more specific, because it was documented as being in this room. So they're trying to document it a little bit better or narrow it down. So they're actually going through and verifying some of the other inventory that's already been done. So I can get that update from them.
Okay, and do we have any type of projected date as to when we think it might be back open to the public?
I think they're looking at the summer.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a stay tuned situation. Maybe we'll have some more to report after that meeting later this month, but obviously they're working hard over there. So the next person on the list here, Commissioner Kirchner, I had Charlene Watkins from Regional Planning. So go ahead, Charlene.
Good morning, commissioners. I would just like to give you a little bit of information and update on a couple projects that are going on. I'm sure all of you got to see in the newspaper and Seneca News Daily that the city of Fostoria has been awarded a $100,000 reimbursement grant to install an EV charging station in the Dells parking lot. That is a reimbursement grant. So we're very excited to see that happening. We've actually started working through the process. Once we get the notification, it's pretty quick, and getting the meeting scheduled and start talking to installers. We've requested 2 new quotes because the quotes are from 2018. So we need some updated quotes on everything. And so we're very excited to see this initiative coming to Fostoria. The 2 in Tiffin have been installed. They are setting for inspection for the electric. Once that has been completed, then ABM and AEP will be able to activate, and those should be up and running. And we just have to wait for the state inspection on them. So all things considered, having 3 EV charging stations in Seneca County that are all fast charging stations is a great accomplishment. We're excited about that. Another thing that I'd like to bring you up to speed on is the Community Development Block Grant. The Ohio Development Services Agency provided us an announcement that they are not making the program year 2021 or 2022 a competitive grant. They are going to remain the same as allocation, and they will be looking at restructuring the program in 2023. We had provided you information on this. We want to keep you up to speed on it. So over the next couple weeks, if not starting very soon, you're going to start hearing from me more about Community Development Block Grant and getting our public hearings scheduled and start taking pre-applications. So we wanted to just bring you up to speed on that. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.
So, Charlene, if I'm driving an electric car and I go to a charging station and charge my car, is there any cost to me?
Yes, there is a fee structure for that. I do not establish the fee structure. Each entity establishes their own fee structure, and they are only charging the cost of the electric. This is not a money-making situation. They just have to be able to pay the bill. So the city of Tiffin is charging a certain rate based off of how much AEP says it's going to cost to provide the electric, and the city of Fostoria will have to follow suit as well. Those fee structures are set up in an ordinance and a resolution. The city of Tiffin does have theirs completed. We'll be working through that process with Fostoria.
And the location of the Tiffin rapid charging station is?
The two rapid charging stations in Tiffin are in City Lot 7, which is exactly and immediately across the street from the Board of Elections and Regional Planning. They are on the left side if you're standing at the front of the parking lot, and they have the teal color that is the representation of the city of Tiffin on them.
Okay, perfect.
Just for the record, we have one at the county office.
Yeah, we do. It's not a rapid charger though. It's yeah.
There you go. See, now you've educated yourself on these.
That's right.
On this, I'm impressed. That's good.
Scary.
It is.
Okay, Jimmy, who else is out there?
I don't see anything right now, but this is your time if you want to unmute your line to come forward, or hit the *6 button if you're on the phone lines to unmute.
I can't believe we're not going to hear from Andre. There she is.
Guys, no real updates from us today. I just really did want to mention, as Tyler already did, the new survey that's up on the website. We're just trying to, like he said, get that information from all of our businesses to get a good picture of where things are currently at, and it'll be really helpful to have that data to do our work moving forward. So you can find that information at our website, tiffinseneca.org, and or on Facebook. There's a link to it as well. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. But yeah, businesses, the more we can get to fill that out, the better. From downtown, we have the St. Patty's Day 5K coming up. Amy wants everyone to sign up to participate in that. There's a virtual option and an in-person option. Other than that, no real updates from us since last week. Are there any questions for TSEP?
How do you do a virtual option of a 5K?
That's a great question. You'll have to ask Amy.
Okay.
So then basically, Mike, you and I will participate in that if it's virtual.
Yeah, so yeah, the only thing I just run out of time, that's all.
Yeah, we'll
Okay. How about previous Commissioner Nutter? I see him on the line. We haven't heard from you in a while. What's up?
Hey, gentlemen. Thanks for reaching out there. Yeah, it's nice to see everybody. Just continuing to work with the community out in Sunny Farms. We're making our way through the winter, and looking forward to Tony's next prayer to melt all the snow, and we'll that will be helpful. So everything's going great.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Anyone else, Jimmy?
I'll hop on.
Yes, Hallie.
Hallie Williams from the Extension Office. How are you guys today?
Good.
I'm sorry, it's been a while since I've been on. We have been very active and busy out in the community. This is our busy time of year, and we're constantly making changes due to COVID and everything. So I wanted to remind everybody that the Extension Office is open Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, normal business hours. Ideally, call first if you have a question or are planning on coming in. But we're open and happy to serve the public. On my end, on the ag team, we are doing a lot of pesticide training right now. So that's a lot of times I can't join in on calls because we're out teaching meetings. So we're social distancing, teaching with masks on, a maximum of 50 people per meeting or so, but we're updating everybody on new pesticide updates, making sure that they have accurate information throughout the area that's specific on new weeds, on new products available, also some general information. So this year I'm talking about how to make sure that we have our sprayer tanks cleaned out appropriately to make sure we don't have herbicide damage, and then also talking about agricultural mental health. So it's kind of an uneasy topic that makes producers a little squirmy, but hopefully we're alleviating some of the stigma in agriculture on needing to ask for help and taking care of our mental health in the same way we do with our physical health. So that's been keeping us very busy, but then I've also been doing a ton of work on Seneca County Common Ground Board with the farmers market. We're in process of trying to hire out a new farmers market manager, but then I'm also working heavily to start accepting SNAP benefits this year. So that would open up the ability to purchase fresh local produce for about 3,500 families here in the community. So we're really excited for that, doing a lot of legwork right now, lots of training. And then while it's still a little new, but we have been selected to be a part of Ohio Department of Agriculture's Victory Garden project counties. So we will just be dispersing some seeds to some individuals who are interested in starting a victory garden this year. And that'll happen in about April or so. So right now we're making sure that all of our community partners who are doing some of this work will have access to those seeds, but hopefully we'll be able to open that up to the public. And then lots of camp counselor training going on Katie's end. Our nutrition educators, they are still teaching virtually, which is hard as a nutrition educator, but they're active and kicking butt in the community. So yeah, that's just a brief update from us. Do you guys have any questions from extension or for extension?
Haley, with the farmers market, isn't that traditionally run by the Chamber of Commerce? You said you guys are looking for a manager.
Yeah, so it would have been 2019 was the last year that the chamber was running the farmers market. And so myself, Audrey Flood's on it. We have a group of community members who we established out a board, a nonprofit, Seneca County Common Ground, to help develop and promote local food production in the community. So we have a couple farmers market vendors that are on that board as well, including John Ream and Christy Buskirk. So we kind of inaugural, I would say technically was our January 1st of last year. And we had a wonderful market manager this past season that helped us get through COVID. We have a great new website, social media promotion, actually a past 4-H member, Courtney Heiser. But of course, she's so wonderful. She got picked up by a co-op. So, and she just recently graduated. So we need to replace her position. And we're in the throes of that right now.
If you guys have a post on that, I'd be happy to share it. I mean, it'd obviously be a part-time position, I presume.
Yeah.
Is there compensation with that, and how's that funded?
There is compensation for it. It's funded through sponsorship and through funds that we receive from the farmers market vendors. We're not promoting it throughout yet because we have some local individuals that we've contacted first. Gotcha. But we may consider opening that up in the future.
If I can help, let me know.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tyler. I appreciate it.
Kelly, you also support Master Gardener program as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So Master Gardeners and I are best friends. Yeah. We have a great Master Gardener team. A lot of ag educators complain about theirs, that they're a hassle or that they need their hands held a lot, and our team is amazing. I love working with them. And so they're actually working on they also have a Grow Ohio project where Master Gardeners are going to be able to grow produce and then donate that throughout the community. So we're trying to promote that and our Victory Gardens programs with local community partners as well as our Master Gardeners.
Good job.
Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Hallie. Commissioner, I have a couple of other things that came up that I want to get to before you move on. Is that okay?
Sure. Hit it.
Okay. First off, online, Pat Homan asked, and I know we already talked about this, but I want to grab Charlene if she's still here. Can you talk about, again, just so everybody knows, where the charging stations are going to be located? Just one more time.
I can do that. The charging stations in the city of Tiffin are located in parking lot 7, which is directly across from the Board of Elections and Regional Planning Office, or as we so affectionately can call the building, the old AEP or Lazarus building. So directly across the street, and they are on the left-hand side, kind of next to Sue Pants and Howard's law firm.
Well, for those of us that are older, it's LaSalle's and the Schwably Hardware Building.
There we go. In Fostoria, the proposed location will be the Dell's parking lot, which is in downtown Fostoria. It is on the corner directly across from Dell's, catty-cornered from the old furniture store. And we do have a proposed location, but those locations are subject to change inside the parking lot depending on AEP's service availability. So AEP will come out and look at that and tell us, yeah, that's a good spot, or no, that's not a good spot. And that's what happened in Tiffin. So we foresee that happening in Fostoria as well, because we have to make it so that AEP can put in the service. Those will be the 2 locations.
Great, thank you. Go ahead, Mike.
Is there such a thing as the ability to upgrade a trickle charger to a rapid charger?
That is way beyond my education.
Okay. I'm seriously, we have that trickle charger in the commissioner's parking lot, and obviously people are not going to use that if they've got a rapid charging station. So I didn't know if there was any modification that can be made.
That is a great question, and I would be glad to check that out with Jake Sheff from Buckeye IT, because my understanding is he installed that charger for the commissioner, and he is actually looking into helping us in Fostoria if they can meet the requirements at AEP. So we would love to see if he could do that for you guys in your parking lot as well.
Okay. All right. Good.
Do you know how much use those stations have gotten? Like, can you say 10 hours a month? I mean, is there a way to monitor how much usage they're actually getting or how much they're being utilized?
There will be on the rapid charging stations that are going in Tiffin and Fostoria. I cannot speak for the one at your guys' office, but once the ones are installed in Tiffin and Fostoria and they're up and running, they'll actually be able to pull a report from what they call Charge Point, which is the servicing entity, and see how much usage and how long people are using them and the cost factors that go with it.
Tyler, I can tell you that there's probably somebody out here at least once a week using ours.
Good. Okay. Well, it's nice to see they're being utilized. I don't always see it every day, but good to know. Thank you.
Just a reminder, ours is free. So you can park there, charge your car, go to Madison Street, walk down to 138. Any restaurants that are downtown or shopping.
Hop on the pedal car for a few hours, come back, it'll be charged.
That's right.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so Commissioner Kirchner, one more thing. This is from, it was in our Zoom chat. He sent a direct message to me. This is from Mike Fairchild of NBC 24. I wanted to, I think Stacy might be able to answer this, and maybe a comment or two from the commissioners, that just going back to the United Way discussion, and thanks again to Carrie Steele for joining us today, but he wants to know if funding is still available through that program and how it's impacted the community.
It is not. That program closed at the end of the year.
And a commissioner to talk about the impact. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I think that Carrie covered it pretty well. I mean, the impact to the community is pretty obvious. We targeted those people who had the most need and tried to spread it out amongst as many entities as possible. Job and Family Services actually dispersed some money. As you know, Great Lakes Community Action Partnership did, Fostoria Economic Development, Seneca Economic Partnership, United Way, of course. Stacy, whom I'm missing.
Yeah, we had TCEP, FEDC, UOCAP, and United Way, Job and Family Services. So it was.
So yeah, I mean, this affected. We tried to get to as many, as much of the demographics of the population who were in need to give them the opportunity to apply. It was advertised through all these agencies, and we even broke it down and got it into some of the nonprofits who were able to benefit from some of the money as well, who were shut down during the who have continued to be shut down, some of them over COVID. So we just sincerely hope that we got mom and pop businesses, local businesses, that we got individuals who are in need. And, the variety of things that they covered has already been spoken to. So we're just very, very pleased with the hard work that all these folks did with the administration of these funds. And somebody had mentioned earlier about the cooperation between all the agencies. It couldn't have been done without that. One was talking to the other to make sure there wasn't double coverage. So it's just been a real good experience. And I'm happy that the county was in a position to be able to help folks.
Thank you.
Anything else out there, Jimmy?
I am seeing nothing at this time. So this is your last call. If you want to hit *6 to unmute if you're on the phone line, or just hit that unmute button and come forward now.
Okay, Tony, you have your marching orders as far as the prayer goes next week. So we're all set.
I'll need palm trees for a background. Some more.
Good luck with that.
We're going to pray for snow, melting of the snow. So.
Well, you guys can all change your backgrounds next week to palm trees. Just get it out of your little photo albums, and then we'll look like we're all in it. Good stuff. 11:15 a.m. I will call this meeting adjourned. Thank you, folks. Thanks, everyone, for being here.